Welcome back. In this video I'll finish off the trims around the external part of the building and get a start on the barn doors. Now I had these trims custom made, and as you can see I measured them carefully on each corner and made sure they fitted inside the base or the low point of every corrugation, just to make sure it was really neat and airtight, and they turned out awesome. I was really happy with that. This is the last one here going on. With that done, I then got to start on the barn doors. So I made my own hinges after looking around, and I couldn't really find anything I wanted. So I used these bullet hinges and I routed them out to fit into like a recess, and they seem to work really well. Now the first door's taken a bit longer because it's sort of, I'm designing it as I go, and then once I had that first door done, obviously the remaining door is going to be much easier, and there's 5 of these altogether that I need to build. Now the other thing I've been doing is working through the approval process. So if you're an owner builder, at the end there's a few things you need to do. There are some safety provisions. So in my case I needed things like fire extinguishers and exit signs, which I've done, and doors opening certain ways and things. I needed to get the structure signed off, so I had an engineer sign off the metal structure. Then I needed a licensed builder to sign off the building, which I've had done. And the last thing was to get the council and have them do a final inspection, which they've done. And that's basically the process complete. The last thing I need now is just to get a certificate of occupancy, and then it's pretty much completely signed off and I can start using it. Now with these doors, I decided to build these in position because it's just much easier. I think if you build them on a bench, it's unlikely they're going to fit exactly the way I wanted them to. So I wanted, for example, I wanted a 6mm gap between the doors, so I just put a 6mm plate, and I just made sure all the joins were really tight, because any gap when you weld it is going to create some distortion. So I always imagine having a barn door with some sort of crossbutt. So this is what I come up with, and it was a little bit of trimming to get it to fit properly. And once they were tacked and everything fitted properly, I simply took them down and fully welded them and cleaned up, particularly that RHS. So that was some RHS I had laying around, and the remaining doors will be out of new primed RHS. So when I fully welded it, I just took my time, because as I said, you don't want to have too much heat going into this, otherwise it will distort. I put a backer plate on one door, so this allows the second door to sort of butt up against it, and it all worked out pretty good. Once I had this done, I spray painted it with self-priming epoxy enamel, and this paint was really good actually. Very happy with that. With it painted, I simply hung them, and then I put a drop pin in, as you can see here, to lock one side, and a bit later I'll sort out some sort of door handle and lock. And then I put some tongue and groove paneling in the back. So in the end I decided on the same tongue and groove that I used in the loft, and with the only difference being the timber mill I got it from, I requested that it was chemically treated to H3 because it is going to be exposed to the elements, and I think it's turned out really good. This is the little cutout for the door handle, and then once I had all that done, I stained them, sealed them just the way I did with the door frames, and I think the colour I really like. So be interested in your opinion on it. Let me know what you think. It's the first barn doors I've built, so there's always room for improvement. So I put it together here, it's starting to come together, it fits really well. What I did then is put that string line to follow the crossbar centre line, and I put a whole row of countersunk screws to hold the timber just in the middle, because that span is probably a bit too much without support. That's the inside look. And then this is the second door. This door is for my office. I made a few little tweaks, so you can see here I'm going to put a door handle on both sides. I just think that looks a little bit tidier. And the other thing I did was change some of the joints. So You can see the joints here, I made sure they're all really tight, and down at the bottom here, rather than a miter joint, I just stacked them. I don't know if there's a name for this, but just to help try to reduce distortion. The other thing I did is there's angle line holding the timber, and at the bottom I spaced it out, and on the front the back is fully sealed to the bottom, and that just allows a bit of a weep hole for any rainwater that might collect. So there it is there. I think it looks great. Now I've just got to work through the remaining doors, and I'll finally seal this off before winter formally hits. See you next time.